Hello and welcome to the final round of the Cloud Sport Road to Vegas competition in London. On 16th of October, 20 drivers lined up on the grid for the first round in Long Beach, and now that road is coming to an end, isn't it, guys? It's the final round in Battersea Park in London. A really good track, of course. We're hopefully to see a lot of action today, and let's just introduce ourselves. I'm Edward Hunter, and I'm commentating with my co-commentator Jack Pickering, and we've got our special guest Alex Simpson helping us out, who is the owner and manager of Apex Racing UK. I believe that's the right title, is it?
It is indeed. Hi guys, welcome. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great to be back. So yeah, and it's really exciting to see who's going to get the last few places to get to Vegas in a little over a month's time.
Yep, and of course, 4 spots already decided. Of course, back in Berlin, it was Oli Picalo who won in Berlin quite dominantly, as we all remember. He's actually not. He didn't pass the semi-finals. He crashed out in his semi-final yesterday in London, which wasn't televised, so we didn't see that exactly what happened there. But I believe there was contact with another car in the. I think it was the third semi-final. But so Oli Picalo, his season is pretty much over, but he's through, so it doesn't really matter. He's on 145 points. Greg Hutu is already through, as is Graham Carroll. They're on 135, 134 respectively. And then David Greco on 119. He's just in that window of unassailability. So those 4 have got guaranteed spots to Vegas no matter what happens today. And so the focus, and I guess the real interest, switches down to Bono Huis, Patrick Holtzman, those two, and the guys behind them. So Bono Huis is on 114 points. And he needs to beat his worst score of 9th in order to improve that score. But 114 could be enough depending on what happens behind. Similar situation for Patrick Holtzman. That's your man, Alex. He's on 109 points. He needs to beat 11th, which is his worst result. And then we've got Jakub Brzezinski on 99 points. He needs to beat his worst result of 13th. Alexei Loma on 95 points. Needs to beat his worst result of 11th. Nikodem Wisniewski on 95 points. Needs to beat his worst result of 15th. Peter Briljak had a bad score in Paris. He's already doing better than he did in Paris because he didn't get through to the final in Paris. So he's on 92 points, and that is the top 10 cutoff at the moment. Behind that we have the other guy still in contention, Wyatt Gooden on 88 points. He needs to beat his worst score of 17th when he crashed out all the way back in Long Beach. That was his worst result. He's done very well since. Mahan Patel on 84 points. Alexei Yussi also on 84. Remember, Alexei Yussi really having to fight his way through the pack in Berlin. Enzo Benito didn't even start in Berlin, and that really cost him. Means he doesn't have a round to drop. That means 83 is his the true score that he's on, and he needs to score as much as he can today. And he starts on pole, of course, so that looks good for him. So he just needs to see what happens, and hopefully he can make it through. Daniel Kiss just behind on 82. Then we've got 2 guys who might just be mathematically in it, but realistically they need everyone ahead to drop out. Christian Kwiatniewski on 66 points and Ricky Wilson on 65. So those are the guys who are really in contention. A couple others here. We see Diego Jimenez, Marcel Klein, Leslie Oliphant, Lucas Molman, Walter Wedgrev also in this final. But they are, I'm afraid, I hate to say the word backmarker, but that's unfortunately the accurate term. They're going to be propping up the rear and fighting each other rather than the championship contenders, I suspect. Although they cause an accident, you never know what might happen. And of course, lap cars here in Battersea Park are a big problem. So anyway, let's talk through the grid itself. As I mentioned earlier, Enzo Benito is on pole, and just behind him is his teammate from Team Redline, Gregor Hutu. Then it is Alexei Yussi in 3rd, and Peter Briljak, the last guy who last guy to win a semi-final in yesterday. He's in 4th, and he only just did it. Apparently, him and Wyatt Gooden came together, and Peter Briljak sort of crawled across the line with a damaged car to win that semi-final. So he's really battled on, and it's sort of paid off. Then we have Graham Carroll in 5th. Actually beat Alexei Yussi on the road in his semi-final, but because Graham Carroll crossed the white line, I think exiting the pit lane, which is a big no-no, of course. He got a 3-second penalty, and that meant that Usi took the win and the 3rd place group position in this final. And behind Graham Carroll in 6th, it's Alexei Loma. Alexei Loma, who thinks he's got a really good setup here today. He says he's been struggling with setup all season. He's finally found a magic setup that's going to see him well seen him well so far into 6th place, but hopefully he can maybe make up a few more places in this final. Then we have Bono Huis in 7th, Patrick Holtzman in 8th, Wyatt Gooden in 9th, Nikodem Wisniewski 10th, Jakub Brzezinski in 11th, David Greco 12th. Mohamed Patel all the way down in 13th. He really needs to make it around here, as does Daniel Kiss right behind in 14th. Then we have Kwiatkowski, Clean, Oliphant, Molman, Ricky Wilson, and Diego Jimenez right at the back. And we have a couple of reserves in the shape of Walter Wedgeworth, Juan Ibanez, Ricky Silva, and Jan Trovo, who miraculously managed to get into... Sorry, I dropped the microphone. He's just going to 6th place in his final, which was the second semi-final yesterday. And Jan Trovo really... I'm feeding back a bit, Jack, sorry. Jan Trovo really struggled in... Throughout the season, really, he struggled, but it's really good to see him get a good finish, and I think he richly deserves it for just turning up and doing his best. Sometimes is all you can really ask for from someone. So with that out of the way, guys, do you want to give your thoughts ahead of what's going to be an action-packed 45 minutes? Well, is it going to be a 45-minute race? It's a 33 laps, definitely, so I'm not sure if that's 45 minutes overall, but yeah, we're going to be here a while, that's the point. No thoughts at all? Anyone?
Sorry about that. Just like I say, getting the echo there. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the race. I think it's going to be a tight race. All important is going to be the start, qualifying. Obviously, very difficult to overtake. So I'm obviously looking at my guys there, thinking, you know, they need to nail qualifying. Sorry, it's the final, isn't it? There's no quali, so just get myself back into the groove. But yeah, so. The start really is where everything's happened. We've seen some accidents in the past, so people will be trying to avoid that last chance to score the points they need. So there'll be some hesitation out there, I think. It's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be good. Maybe a bit cagey in places.
Yeah, of course, definitely, and it really. I think Graham Cow, having made it through, he's driven a brilliant season. You know, throughout the 4 races that he's done. Well, 3 races so far. The fourth one's not happened, and. Sorry about the feeding back if you're hearing it. I think that's your problem, Jank. You really need to sort that, please. And there we go. Yeah, as I was saying, Graham Crowe has driven a really good season. And it's really the focus is on, from your point of view, Alex, Patrick Holtzman trying to make his way through. And I think Patrick is definitely going to need a bit of help from Graham. If he drops further back down the field, he might need Graham to take a few points off the challengers, you know, the likes of Peter Brill-Jack, who are sort of threatening his position in the overall championship. And it's a bit weird with the drop score rule because everyone has a certain result that they need to beat to gain more points.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick's in a relatively good position. He's at the 11th that he's got to improve on. He's in a good starting position, so if he can just maintain his starting position, he should be okay. Race pace looks good for him. He took it really easy in the semi-final just to make sure that he was in that top 8, which is all he needs with Graham there. And then, of course, we've got a lot of the red line guys need to score big points. The way we've calculated it, just with those guys doing what they're going to do, that should be enough to secure Patrick's spot as well. So just yeah, a couple of points improvement from him will be great.
Absolutely. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the Battersea Park circuit in London. One of the more difficult tracks, I think, on the calendar. Fitting that we end on a really tricky track, I guess. Lots of chicanes, lots of corners. So I guess we can. I'll wait for someone just to get across the line, and I'll sort of talk us through the lap, which way it all goes. Of course, very narrow. It's infamously narrow and so difficult to pass on. Although in real life, we have seen the likes of Nelson Piquet Jr. climb through the order in the season finale of the first season of Formula E, and he won the championship by making a pass, I think, on Salvador Duran, which was the key one. But yeah, you can pass on this circuit, but you need to judge it really well. What we're seeing Marcel Cleaton go through now, the long left-hander, pretty much the only long corner on the circuit, it leads into this chicane, which is probably one of the best overtaking spots. It's just near the end of the lap, and just before the pit lane as well. I suspect one of the things I do suspect is if we see lapped cars about to be lapped, they might. I'm not sure if they can do this without having to make a pit stop, but they might just decide to drive through the pit lane in order to avoid holding people up. But that might be a good way to get out of the way, because you've seen there's not a lot of spaces. There's not a space on the track to move out of the way.
Yeah, this track is extremely narrow. However, despite that, we have seen in real life, we've seen some absolutely stunning races, especially last season, season 2, the title decider. Oh,
of course, where they ran into each other at turn 3. Let's hope we don't see the red line and the Apex guys doing that to each other here. Although,
That would be
especially
very
because you can't tell
interesting.
each other apart that easily when you're in the car. You've only got the color of the car ahead of you to tell you
Yeah.
who it is, and some of them use the same color, of course. So yeah, it could get very
But
confusing if you try that.
I did lose my voice that day. I was
Yeah, we were watching a
yeah.
trackside. That was when Degrassi ploughed into the back, and there was this uproar all around the circuit as they trundled by.
And Jack
Degrassi
Nichol's voice
bending
broke.
his front wheel. Yeah. Oh yes, of course. And he tried to invoke the Senna Prost collision from Suzuka 1990, and mimicking what Murray Walker said on that day. It's happened immediately. Yeah. Let's hope that nothing happens. Well, actually, it would be amazing if something happened immediately. I mean, we could go crazy about it, But yeah, anyway, what we're watching at the moment is the warm-up session, of course. I'm not sure it's going to run to its full fruition, but we'll have to see. Once the warm-up session's done, bit empty around the park, isn't it? When you go to the aerial shot to the river, yeah, and you can't see.
Oh, I just saw the Prince Albert. Good memories there, mate.
Oh yeah, yeah. But there's actually that was where Degrassi and Bromy hit each other, which is turned through the first big braking zone, which is Prince Albert is literally right outside that.
Yeah.
And after the first corner, of course, very bumpy. You can't really make a move in there unless you get a good start because it's quite narrow. And sort of we saw, I think it was that was how Ollie Picala and I can't remember who Ollie Picala was fighting, but basically that was how he in his semi-final 3 yesterday. That was how Ollie Picala effectively destroyed his car and his chance of being in this final because he went a bit too far to the outside and got pushed by another car, and he had a wheel alongside, but he should maybe, I think the stewards report said that maybe he could have backed out, which is why it was deemed a racing incident and no blame was really apportioned. But big crowd at the side here, bigger than I remember it, but then again I didn't see the whole part when I was there. But but yeah, it's a very unusual location compared to what we usually have, I guess. Very picturesque as well, you know, having the big lake and lots of trees in the background. And but yeah, it's usually quite a sedate, you know, setting, you know, where you take your kids out to, you know, have a good time in the park. But now it's going to see a lot of action for the final time, of course, because they won't be racing there in real life next year either. So yeah, it's all already about ending of the championship and kind of the endings today. But it is going to be extremely fascinating and exciting to see what happens. And I believe we're getting the grid ready now. Everyone's going to form up. Enzo Benito at the front with Hugh 2 alongside him, and then everyone else chasing behind, jostling for position. So, anyone that you guys are looking out for to gain places in the early stages of this race?
I think really it's people like Wyatt who need to have a really good race. Obviously, Enzo's already at the front, so I'd expect them, you know, to do well. Alexia Loma needs a really good race as well. He's on the bubble, so you know these people really need good solid finishes inside the top 10. So
I did a bit of a quick maths actually, and I figured out that if it finishes as it starts, which I doubt it will, to be honest, because you know anything can happen in this series, but if it finishes as it starts, then Alexia Loma will be the last guy to qualify on 103 points. And I think the next highest would be 114, which would be Holtzman and Usi. That's all provided they stay exactly where they are, which like I said, is unlikely.
Yeah,
anyway,
that won't happen.
it's unlikely. Someone is going to come to grief. I
was about to say confident there. Something's going to change. So.
Well, I really hope it does. Otherwise, we're in for a long race. But
well, I mean, there's a lot on the line, isn't there, for all these drivers as well? I mean, from a driver's point of view, there'll be some stress going through right now. So you know, Enzo, he might well be pole position and in a really good position, but he can't afford to make a mistake. One rash move through the chicane could end him in the wall, and that's his trip to Vegas done. You know, there's drivers obviously sat on the grid who've already got their points in the bag, so they're just trying to improve by a couple of points here and there, but some absolutely desperately need them as well. So, it's not straightforward.
We mentioned Enzo and his atrocious luck in Berlin, where he qualified in the top 3, I believe, and he had to vacate that spot on the grid due to his game crashing, basically. And Graham Carroll even said after the race that the same thing nearly happened to him as well. So it's just such bad luck, you know, and it sort of put him in this position where he needs to score well. But even if he doesn't make a great start, Enzo, and Hutu gets by. Do you reckon Hutu would give the place back, or do you think Hutu too much pride at stake even to let another Redline member into the final at Vegas?
I think they'll be in the chat. I'm pretty sure we can see the
Yeah.
chat channels from there, and they'll be working out the points, and they'll do whatever they need to do. I think that's the thing. So they're in there to support each other, aren't they? So, and if it means that they need to swap around at the front, then I'm sure that's what they will do. I'm sure they'll be saying no team orders, but if it means them missing it, they'll have to reverse it around somewhere.
So anyway, we're waiting for the start now. Last couple of drivers just lining up into position at their very back. Once they do, red lights will come on as they all go off now, and we race for the final time for the Road to Vegas in London. All the drivers set off, I think. Doesn't look like anyone's had a bad start. It's still Enzo Benito leading ahead of Hutu, but who's that just behind them? They're going alongside, I think that's Usi. So is Hutu already playing the TKs? We see them going too wide into turn 3, which looks a little bit dangerous, but I don't think anyone has come to grief yet. Still the 3 Redline guys leading at the front, and not a lot of changes. Whitegooden has got by Holtzman, so that's not good news for you, Alex. So hopefully Patrick doesn't fall too many places, because often you lose one place, it puts you on a bad line. But yeah, it looks like...
and Holtzman's down to 10th now behind Brzezinski.
Yeah, so Jakob Brzezinski are making a move here early on, which is kind of what he needs to do, because again, he's one of those guys that's on the bubble right now. And yeah, so it's a long lap here as well, that's the other thing. So when you pit could be quite crucial to the strategy. As we see Graham Carroll just ahead of Peter Briljack on the road.
That's quite a big gap already for just 2 sectors
yeah, I'm
of the
surprised
race.
he's got by Briljack. I'm not sure, I think he must have done that right at the start, because Briljack qualified ahead of Carroll, and Carroll I think will be determined to get that place back from Usi just for pride, I think, because he feels he won it fair and square and just had a tiny misdemeanor with the pit exit line. Which is, you can see it's so narrow on the left there. And we're watching Greco, who's again another one of the guys who's already qualified. No pressure on Greco whatsoever. No real team allegiance either. David Greco, he's he just taps the outside of turn 2 there. But David Greco actually in his day job is he tests the physics for the Codemasters F1 games, and also you may recognise him as the voice of the Italian co-driver in a dirt rally, as we see Nikodem Wisniewski dropping down the field. What's happened to him? He's pretty much dead last at the moment. Just
put it into the wall, unfortunately, and then reverse back into traffic.
Steering. We were watching Christian Kwiatniewski, very similar name to Wisniewski, and of course the two fought it out for the Seat Leon Euro Cup, which Kwiatniewski won, and then he went to his prize for that was to drive with Jordi Genet in the real Seat Leon Euro Cup, in real car, in a sort of race.
Uzi's just got past Hutu for second place.
Yes, we're seeing it right now on the screen. Yes,
oh, this is
Uzi and
Graham Carroll
right alongside. That's Carroll
as
actually.
well.
Yes, you're right. So real drama here up front. They need to make sure they don't take each other out. Hutu getting all out of shape there at the last corner. He's lost out to Graham Carroll. It's not what he needed.
He's lost both positions. He is
and
now
Nikodem
off the
Wisniewski
podium.
has retired. So that is his chances of making it to Vegas over. And I imagine Nikodem will be in huge grief here at the moment, because he was doing so well up until this round. And it gives a big opportunity for the guys behind him to get in front. Here we go. This is a replay of Carroll and Hutu side by side at the last corner. And remember, these two are... Oh, see, I think Gregor Hutu
bit
was
contact
a bit
coming
about
through
the
the final corner.
glove tap up the side of Gregor Hutu's wheel there that put Hutu out of shape. But remember, those two are still technically, they're still fighting the chance to get ahead of Ollie Pacala. I think Graham Carroll, as it stands, would actually lead the overall standing. I mean, it doesn't get you anything extra for Vegas, but it's a little bit of pride, I guess. And yeah, and putting down the marker for Hutu, saying, I can pass you. You're not as tough as you think. But I'm sure Gregor Hutu, very experienced, won't be too phased by that. Knows his real priority here is to help his redline teammates. But Graham Carroll, of course, now chasing Usi and Benito for the win.
And Benito, he's got 2.6 seconds over Usi at the moment, making amends for
what's this?
for Berlin.
Whitegooden dropping down the order too. So something
Whitegooden is down to 14th right now.
Unraveling for him a bit. And Patrick Holtzman had to tell.
He's pitted,
Whitegooden into the pits. Oh, he must have taken damage to that car. Can he repair it and continue with his race? Because that might keep his chances alive here. He's another one just outside the... There we see a piece of shattered front wing. just after turn 3. I wonder if that's Wyatt Gooden's. Wyatt maybe having a tough race to recover ground, you know, for the rest of the distance. Pitting on lap 3, I don't think if he switches car, he's going to make it to the end. So he might have to rely on fastest lap and getting a few extra points up the table. But even then, it depends on what the likes of Patel, Kiss, Holtzman, Brzezinski, Aloma, all those guys, what they can do. But anyway, so completing lap 3, Enzo Benito still leads from 3 seconds over Alexei Usi. That's a healthy cushion. With Graham Carroll almost 2 seconds behind Usi, Gregor Hutu just over a second behind Carroll. Then we have Peter Briljak, Alexei Aloma, Bono Creason 7th, Jakob Brzezinski 8th, Greco 9th, and Matt Holtzman in completing the top 10. Patel right behind Holtzman actually. And pardon me, this is that battle we're watching right now. Yeah, so there you see Greco and then just behind that battle for 10th, which could be quite crucial actually, because Patel really needs to get by Patrick Holtzman and to keep his. I mean, Wisniewski and Guden dropping out helps him out, but he can't feel safe just yet.
Might be wrong, but doesn't Greco and Mohammed do some testing together? I think in a different sort of R Factor series. Certainly have done in the past and know each other well. So I think sort of David's in there helping out a couple of his teammates as well, just to take points off of people. So
yeah,
there's a lot of alliances out there.
Graduate from Formula Sim racing, as you probably are aware of, Alex, where he's a regular sort of podium finisher. I'm not sure where he was definitely in the top 5 in the championship this series. So yeah, very accomplished elsewhere. Had a bit of luck. He got disconnected in the semi-final at Paris, and he's really been fighting back for now the whole season. Look at him, just getting over the curve. Great to see these guys pushing, although some of them have come to grief, like Wyatt Gooden and Nikodem Wisniewski. As we see a move, I think being someone shaping up for a move just behind. That was Kiss and Kwiatkowski, I think, running side by side, but the positions stay the same, and Kiss remains stuck down in 13th. I think Kiss is one of the guys that's really going to be hoping for more grief up front in order to get to Vegas, but yeah, I'm going to have to redo the points here to figure out who exactly is big enough to make it to Vegas, but I don't know, I think you can sort of, we're just going to have to play it by ear at the moment. 5 laps elapsed, and race settling down now into a regular rhythm. Enzo keeping the gap, well, actually extending it over Usi. Usi, of course, no real reason to attack Benito, to get close to him. If anything, Usi, I'd worry a bit more about Carroll, just a second behind as we switch back to Kiss, trying to get past the baby blue car of Christian Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski not really in the battle here. He's had a really good season in terms of, say, Leon Euro Cup, but Kwiatkowski will, of course, be trying to keep his very splendid chances alive. I don't think there was enough.
Showing the nose. He's just letting Kwiatkowski know that he's there.
Yeah, this is a good place to pass. Rosary Gate. He's got a wheel alongside, and Kwiatkowski backs right off and lets Daniel Kiss get past him. Oh, another slide from Kwiatkowski. So I think maybe he decided discretion was the better part of valor there, and this really releases Daniel Kiss to catch up to Mohammed Patel, who he's fighting with. He's only 2 points behind in the championship to Mohammed Patel, so if he can get fastest lap, actually he'd be dead level on points with Patel at the moment, I think.
Just been told as well that they're actually all teammates as well, so Greco, Mohammed, Kiss and Briljak as well, so there's another big team out there all trying to work together, get as many of the guys up and into the trip as well, so be interesting to see how that plays out. Any favours going to be done between the teammates that are all on the bubble there?
Yeah, but the thing is, they're all in it for themselves, aren't they? I think they'll push each other hard, but they won't do anything too unfair. They won't try and make a marginal move. We saw, surprisingly, Kwiatkowski, who's, I believe, in one of the Spanish teams. I think Iberica Racing or something. I believe that's the name of the team. And I'm surprised that he moved over for Daniel Kessel. It may have been that he just decided, you know, I don't need to fight this too hard. I want to just keep my tires alive and get the best result I can, rather than holding up Kiss. It just won't help me. So I think definitely a strategic decision rather than just Kwiatkowski backing off because he didn't think he's fast enough. We're switching back to Aloma now, really challenging Peter Briljak ahead of him, and really Peter doesn't want to give up this 5th position. He really needs it to get into Vegas. But Alexei Aloma, of course, with his magic setup, is definitely going to try and maximise it, put pressure on Briljak, maybe force a mistake like we saw in the semi-final. It nearly cost Briljak, nearly cost him dear really. And Wyatt Gooden, who collided with Briljak, is of course still down in 15 seconds behind Marcel Clean, and really looking like it's all gone wrong for him. But we switch back to Patel now. That front wing damage is still there, so luckily that's not really an overtaking spot, because otherwise I think, well, drivers would feel a bit annoyed. And Mahat Patel, of course, speaking of overtakers, is one of the most prolific overtakers we've seen in the series, able to overtake in all sorts of places you wouldn't imagine someone being able to do. Although, to be fair, I remember Graham Carroll doing an equally good overtake into the Rosary Gate chicane yesterday at El Nusi. So, and he made a good little video of it, which was definitely good because we didn't get any coverage yesterday. But White Gooden actually setting the fastest final sector down in 19th. Not that it will aid him too greatly here, but it might help him get fastest lap, and you never know what could happen in the rest of this race. If we were able with Greco trying to do a switchback on Jakub Brzezinski, but Brzezinski pretty much had it covered there, and Greco's lost a little bit of ground.
Now now Greco will probably fall into the hands of Holtzman and Patel, well, which who are ready to pounce if something big goes down in front.
Yeah, and what we were saying earlier about them being teammates, I think Patel really needs that 10th place a lot more than Holtzman. So of course Holtzman still wants to finish in the top 10, just to be comfortable. So it's really a case of who's feeling more comfortable than the other, I guess. And but and again, I think sort of if I was sort of playing it, my rule, if I was Patrick Holtzman, I would say I'm gonna fight Patel unless he gets like a wheel halfway alongside me, in which case I won't try anything stupid. That would be my logic going into it.
I think
again.
that would be very good. However, Patel is showing Holtzman the nose. However, still, it doesn't make the move into Rosary Gate.
Yeah. So continuing over that, we're on. Enzo Mino has actually started lap 10 now. White Gooden re-entering the pits. I think maybe that could be it for him. He might have been pushing really hard to set a fastest lap and see if it could make any difference to him. Has he set a? I'm not sure if he has actually set the. Looking down at the timing screens, whether he set the fastest lap. But he set his personal best of 1:14.90, which I don't see any times too much better than that. It's still a really good time, but because it's a bit distorted because it's as you see Patel having to really back out and slide the rears out at turn 3, Prince Albert Gate, just to make sure he doesn't hit the back of Holtzman. I think he's really being held up by Holtzman here.
Oh no, Ruiz just got past Lexi Aloma as well. So
very
Aloma
true,
down
yeah.
to 7th, Bono up. And
yeah, we saw Aloma challenging Brilljack, so he must have dropped back a bit because he's now 3 seconds behind Ruiz. I hope he hasn't hit anything, doesn't have a terminal issue here, but pace seems to be stabilizing a little bit. He's keeping at 2-3 seconds.
I think this is the move from Bono Ruiz on Alexi.
Yeah, so he's already dropped back a bit, so Brilljack
just
pulled the gap. Yeah, he's just done it on the main straight.
Pass. Just so
yeah, and he just had better momentum
just had
out there.
no
It's almost
momentum
like
going down the
yeah,
straight.
looked to me like Aloma may have been saving energy there and thinking about trying to go a bit longer so he can push later in the race, of course, into lap 11 now. And
look at how much Aloma has backed off. Look at that train behind. He's
it's
he's
an
definitely
Aloma
being
train now,
Jarno
isn't it?
Trulli back there.
I'm wondering if he's picked up some damage or something there, because lap times have really dropped off for Alexi there. So
yeah, 1:19 that time round, 1:19.6.
It's looking like that. So, and in fact, the whole pack is behind him now as well. So he needs this strong result. So he's going to have to try and defend for absolutely everything. I think he can't afford to let people get through, because that whole train's going to come by.
It's about 3.5 seconds slower than the people around him. So he may have to box.
Yes, and of course, what this has enabled is Daniel Kiss actually to catch up to the back of it as well. So the train is Aloma holding up Brzezinski, David Greco then a second and a half behind.
Greco and
that was a bit
Holtzman
messy.
going down into
So
Rosary
Greco's
Gate. That
actually
was
building
close.
up a train of his own.
Here comes Patel. He's trying to make a move around the outside. I don't think that's going to happen.
Ran out of space there.
He's going to show the nose going down into the chicane, but
he's
nothing
just
there.
trying everything he can to get that 10th place off of Holtzman's hands. If he makes a move and it doesn't work out, he's really got to worry about losing position to Daniel Kiss, who he is fighting with, remember. We're a third into the race now, over a third into the race rather, on lap 12. With Benito still leading by just under 3 seconds from Uzi. Gonkao hasn't really made inroads on Uzi.
Someone Kiss was trying to, Kiss just pulled out on the front straight from behind Patel, very aggressively there, but no move was able to be made.
Yeah, and I think Kvitniewski actually just starting to close as well. So there's the Greco train, and there's also, I wouldn't actually say there's a train with Iloma and Brzezinski, especially now as Brzezinski is dropped us just a second behind. So Iloma seems that whatever the problem was, he has stabilised it.
Yeah, 1:15.4 from Alexei Iloma last time round. Whatever the problem was.
Really having a comfortable drive out front, Enzo Binda. And, you know, if Benito can win this, we'll have 4 different winners from each of the 4 races in the final. That really shows just how competitive it all is. All these guys are at a really high level, and that really bodes well, I think, going into Las Vegas, because when you go in and you think, oh, it's just going to be Hutu or Carroll that wins it, you know, there's a few other contenders that can maybe spring a surprise on different types of circuits, because no one knows what that Las Vegas track is going to be like. And of course, it's a total prize pot of $1 million up for grabs, but anyone who just makes it, I think, gets at least 20,000 automatically.
If they finish outside the top 10 to position 30. This is including the real-life Formula E drivers. They get 20 grand.
Yeah, all 20 of them.
And then, all 20 of them get 20 grand each. And then, for the top 10, it starts increasing up all the way to 200 grand for the winner of the race.
Yeah, pole position and fastest lap also.
Oh yeah,
a nice little bonus as well.
Yeah, they get a little bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
So even if drivers have a poor
nicely.
race, you know, they can pit and try and get themselves a bit of extra save, which I think is a good little thing.
Absolutely, and it'd be interesting to see how the real life drivers fare. As we see Marcel Clean making an early stop now, but it is sort of roughly the pit lane window. Maybe Marcel has worn out his tyres. He's 16 seconds behind Diego Jimenez.
I'd say it's about too early. However, I
think we're seeing Watland pit on lap 17, roughly 18.
I believe Greco's in.
Past Greco.
I think
Greco's in.
Yeah, Greco in. Okay, so again, another guy wearing out his tyres. I think we've seen that before from David Greco, although he's often had, been able to defend enough in order to not lose out too badly here. But I mean, Greco is going to get a bit of an undercut here, but I definitely think the undercut is not quite so powerful at Battersea Park due to the nature of the track, the long straights. Yeah, it was definitely hugely powerful in Paris and Berlin.
Absolutely supreme.
It's almost a shame that Ollie Picala's not here, because in Long Beach he did a masterful overcut strategy where he stayed out way longer than anyone else. Made the strategy work, gained a position from Gregor Huto and challenged for the podium. In the end, only came 4th, but still it was a really good strategy, and everyone ones that worked out best.
This is in Paris, the lead 3.7 seconds.
Yeah, all I was going to say is in Paris, Miguel Balesta tried another crazy strategy, but it backfired horribly on him. And of course, Miguel Balesta not here today because I think he's mathematically out of it on about 38 points. But anyway, we're watching Patel in 10th place due to Greco having pit, and
Brzezinski is.
Yeah, Brzezinski's in. Yeah, so
and
that
Kissed as well.
Yes, that puts them up further as well. So. I wonder.
I think
is this too early?
I think this is. These two are reacting to what David Greco did a couple laps back.
Yeah, it could be that Daniel Kiss, knowing he's at the back of the train, feels he has to try something a little bit kind of different. Ooh, just braking in time, Brzezinski locking up those tyres. Not that they can replace them on the new car, so it doesn't really need them anymore. But yeah, I think if that was a garage, he might be just kissing the wall at the end of it if he was driving into it.
That's a really bad pun. Really bad pun.
Well, okay. I'll stop doing them then. But anyway, Daniel Kiss comes out still behind Brzezinski, so both had a clean stop. I think
Wedgeworth has gone behind.
David Greco has got by Daniel Kiss, but not by Brzezinski.
Wedgeworth is in. That's why.
Yeah, they're seeing Jimenez. This is Jimenez and Wedgeworth, and Wedgeworth. No wonder No wonder it was definitely him who lost the front wing, and no wonder
Kiss has got past
struggling.
Greco. No, Greco's got past Kiss again.
Yeah, Greco was already ahead of Kiss, and I think behind Brzezinski, so the order hasn't really changed there.
This is a lot closer to Greco than he was before he come into the pits, though. So if Patrick, Patel, they all pit, there's not really an awful lot of room to get another 2 cars out between them. So we might see a change in the order in this little battle, though.
Yeah, so Walter Wedgworth still keeping ahead of Diego Jimenez, and really, Walter, it's a massively uphill battle for well, no, wait, Wedgworth isn't really in it. Sorry, I was
And
thinking of
Gooden's
White
up
Gooden
to
there. Sorry.
16th, despite having been through the pits twice already. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
pretty.
is Gooden going to have enough energy?
Is
to
that
make
the leader coming out behind them? Is that Benito there?
Benito's just start. I think he is. Oh,
Oh
look at
no,
the map
he's
here.
he's coming up to the chicane now. My bad.
Yeah, he is actually.
yeah.
Yeah, so Benito
The cars all
just
look
about
the
to
same,
start
so,
lap 17. Yeah, I don't blame you. White Gooden, I was just talking about him. He is retired, so that is his tiny chance that he had of making it to Vegas has evaporated completely, and frustration for White Gooden. Going out in an early collision and really not able to catch up, and now I think he's come to grief somewhere else on the track. And
yeah, because he just got out in front of I think that was Jimenez and
Wedgworth
Wedgworth.
and Jimenez, yeah, clean
So,
actually in between
I
both of
think
Wedgworth
there
and
must have
Jimenez.
been some kind of contact there. So hopefully we'll get a replay.
Yeah, but whatever the case, I wouldn't. I'm a bit sorry for White because he's driven so well throughout most of the series. Definitely known as a very consistent competitor, and I think that means there'll be no Americans taking part in the Vegas final, which is a bit sad because it's a kind of home event for them. And but yeah, it is what it is. And
there is no there's no US race on the Formula. Well, actually,
well, there's New
you know
York.
what? Ignore that. I completely forgot about New York. I completely forgot about New York.
How could you forget? Oh,
I
Jesus
don't
Christ.
know.
Oh, it's
I
been a long
don't
day.
know how I forgot about New York.
Yeah, and anyway, did I see someone else entering the pit in the background?
I think
or is that
Graham
just my-
Carroll's come in.
Yes, he
third
has.
place.
Yes, good. Yeah, so it's interesting that I saw that. I just saw a flash going in. So yeah, that's definitely Graham Carroll if it's a flash. But yeah, lap 17, which is exactly sort of round about half distance.
Yeah,
So it definitely makes sense for Carroll to pit at this point.
That is perfect, more or less. Yeah, you can't get more perfect than either lap 16 or lap 17 because 33 divided
you
by
could
2
stay
is
out a bit longer
16.5.
and maybe try and use your energy a bit later on, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Graham Carroll, the undercut, maybe he can play it to perfection, and if not, Jumpo, you see, get closer to him. But of course, he's also got to worry about Patel coming in. Now, this is crucial, of course, because Mohammed Patel was in that battle.
Fight with
He was just ahead of Daniel Kiss and behind Patrick Holt. Well, no, he was a little bit ahead of Kiss, I think, and just behind Holtz, who's challenging Holtzman pretty much the whole distance.
Oliphant's in as well.
Yeah, and Greco's let his teammate go through as well, so Kiss is up and past him.
Yes, but if that releases Kiss, then that means that Mohammed Patel is in trouble here, I think, in terms of where he's going to filter out. Let's see. We're just waiting for them all to go through now, watching Greg Hutu, who's up to third.
Benito's in.
Enzo Benito from the lead,
leader.
yes. So here we go, going down that long, narrow way into the pit lane. If you keep going straight on, incidentally, instead of the pit lane, you get to the Battersea Bandstand, of course, which is when we went to this year's race, that was where me and a lot of the Formula addicts met on the Friday. We actually had a really good garage tour of Dragon Racing. Faraday Future Dragon Racing, to use their full title. They're very nice to let us in and see the magic, how they set up the cars in the sort of that high pressure environment they're all in. Of course, it's Friday, so it's only a shakedown.
Yeah, on the Saturday after the podium, me and a few other people kind of snuck in with the rest of the Mahindra and Renault Edams guys, and got almost into the paddock, but we didn't get into it.
So Benito has still emerged ahead of Graham Carroll, so he's definitely covering off Carroll, and good that he did as well. He's 5 seconds
Lucas
ahead.
Mollman is in from 10th place.
Yeah, so
the pit stops are coming thick and fast right now.
And also, just for your information as well, Mohammed managed to stay out just ahead of his teammate Kiss there as well. So those guys are very, very close.
I imagine Mohammed would be a bit annoyed at David Greco there for influencing
and
the
here
fight
comes Usi.
again unfavorably. Yeah, Usi from the lead.
As is Gregor
going to
Houghton.
emerge back in second place. Yeah, so these two are going to come out roughly where they were. I think they're going to be in third and fourth behind Carroll and Enzo Benito. Kvyatniewski, by staying out, has actually jumped all the way up to 6th place, which is quite impressive. Holtzman in as well. That's your man, Alex. So is Holtzman going to keep position over Mohammed Patel? That'll be the interesting thing. Yeah, there's definitely a 2-second gap from Patel to Brzezinski, so you'd
Usyk
imagine...
is out, so is Gregor
that's where
Hutu.
Holtzman-
Where is Benito? On my timing screens, it still says Usyk and Hutu are ahead of
Yeah, Benito is
Benito.
closing in. I think they're just coming out now.
Oh,
Usyk and Hutu.
Is that Benito and Usyk side by side there?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I think he's through. Yes, only a second
Wow.
ahead though, but yeah,
The
so
overcut
really
really,
staying out
worked
longer.
for Usyk.
Yes, but is Usyk going to risk it though in order to get by Benito? Because I think in 2nd place he's almost certainly doing enough right now. As Greco repassing Kiss for 12th place. Or what is current?
There was a
bit of rear
that
wing
was,
missing. I'm not sure that must be missing from one of the back markers. Daniel Kiss is retired. That is why Greco got back through him. Daniel Kiss's chances going. That's another one biting the dust here. This circuit takes no prisoners, clearly. Holtzman and Patel swapping positions here. So what's going on there? We'd love to see Bono, who's coming in from 2nd place. Aloma now leads. How long is he going to be able to keep
in
this
as well.
gravy train going? Yeah, it's time for Kvyatniewski to come in. I mean, he must be very low on energy.
Which means that Alexei Loma is trying to go as far as possible into the race.
Only 12 laps left. Of course, he has to make a pit stop. There's no option to stay as
he's being like the Nelson Piquet Jr. of this right now.
Because
because we saw a lot in season 2, Nelson Piquet staying out for an extra few laps before coming in.
Season 1, but oh, look at that! Going very slowly, and Aloma hits the back of him. Aloma surely having to come in now.
Front wing damage.
Who is that going very slowly? Patrick Holtzman is retired. Oh my goodness, what happened to Patrick Holtzman? And that is fatal to his chances here, potentially, because he was right on the bubble. I mean, big disappointment there, Alex, for your man.
I did watch it, unfortunately. Sadly, he got there where he was just come out of the pits. They were having a battle, and he just got pushed into the wall. And just trying to recover the car.
Patel might be deemed responsible there because he was the one fighting with him.
I don't think it was Patel. I think it was Brzezinski actually.
Ooh, okay. That's also interesting. Brzezinski, another one on the bubble here.
Wedgeworth is in. That was the back marker that Aloma collided with as well.
Oh yes,
we are down to just 16 runners in the.
Walter Wedgeworth this season. Oh, it looks like he may have a steering issue as well. It's crabbing to the left, and Walter Wedgeworth really the entire season he's sort of become it's a trademark of his to sort of just nurse damaged cars to the finish. As we see Aloma dropping down after his pit, so he must have lost a lot of time having hit the back of Wedgeworth, and I'm no doubt quite upset about that. But really, as more and more drop out, there's more. It may seem like an easy ride for the likes of Patel, Brzezinski, Aloma, but the thing is that as we see Aloma side by side with, I think that's Peter Briljak just ahead of him.
Bono Huis, I think.
Bono Huis, actually, yes. So Bono Huis who's just hit a lap ago as well, and this is so actually Aloma hasn't lost that much out here. He's only lost 1 position to Bono Huis because he was 6th at the start of the race. Remember
that is pretty much the gap between them when just before Bono Huis came into the pit. So thankfully for
Bono Huis will be quite
for Aloma, he hasn't lost any time.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because Patrick Holtzman was on 114 points, maybe he is still possibly done enough to get to the Visa Vegas eRace on January 7th. Because
a few retirements, so I think we might be okay, but I'll be hitting the calculator hard in a minute, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still got really another 11 laps to go, though, so...
It really depends on what all the runners who are behind him in the championship do here. May have to do some quick calculating if things get if positions stabilise. One of the biggest gaps in the top 10 at the moment is Peter Briljak to Hutu, which is 10 seconds. So the top 4 really quite close together and bunched up. So we might see a little bit of action for the lead of the race. I imagine Graham Carroll might fancy a move at Usyk. There's definitely a little minor grudge match between those two from yesterday, and Carroll wants to make it 2 from 2 passes on Usyk in as many days. But yeah, I do feel sorry for the guys who have dropped out because they put a lot of time and energy into this, and just one little thing has potentially cost all of them a really good, a lot of money, a lot of, chance to prove himself against the very best. So I mean, as much as I'm happy for the guys who have profited from that, I do mourn for them slightly. But then again, maybe that's just me. I'm a bit of a wuss. So anyway, lap 24 now. So really not long to go. We're entering the closing stages, and it is still 2.5 seconds the lead that Enzo Bonita has over his teammate Alexei Usi. So Usi has kept it stable, kept it fairly low, but I don't see Usi challenging for the lead.
No,
Don't see any reason why he would want to.
I believe Usi is. Usi has dropped quite a bit off since he came out of the pits. So I think unless something dramatic happens for Benito, he's got this one in the bag.
Absolutely. And it really is a case of stroking at home for the top two. I think maybe even the top four. The only one, in fact, Bono, who isn't really a threat to Peter Briljak in fifth either, because he's got even though he's 2 seconds behind, he's got Aloma right up his gearbox, and that's probably the closest battle, definitely the closest battle on track right now. Aloma with a fair bit more energy. I wonder how long he would have gone if he had not run into the back of Walter would have had stopped right in front of him, more likely. We could see a lot of. Keep in mind,
to
with
be
Holtzman's.
honest, I don't think he first battery.
Go on, Jack.
All of the chat on the stream at the moment is saying that Alexei needs to get by Bono and Briljak here if he's going to qualify. So he's going to be putting Bono under a lot of pressure. He needs to get by. How many laps we got left? Just the 9.
Yes, remember.
So he needs 2 more
I
places.
said before the
Otherwise,
start,
he's not
didn't
going.
I? That I said before the start that if he wanted to qualify, if everything had stayed as it was at the start, then he would have. Oh, there he is. Was watching that battle now. If Aloma had
This is very close.
finished in sixth, then he would be on 103
He's showing the
points.
nose
Oh, he's going
to
on the
turn 3. He's
inside.
going to try and
no
make the
space there.
move.
Oh, is Bono going to
He's
give
side
him
by
enough
side,
space
but he's
here?
still got he's got the inside for the chicane. He's but
he
however,
has to back out there right at the last minute, and they make contact there.
great
Bono,
racing
I think,
between the two.
very nervous. They gave each other space, but only just because there isn't a lot of real estate to go around here in Battersea Park. But yeah, tension really building now as we're on lap 25 now, so I believe that means there's 7 laps left. For Alexei Aloma to pass Bono Huis, and I think Bono has every reason to pull out all the stops here.
He's trying to get into Rosary Gate.
He's going to get alongside the Rosary Gate. He's going to have
front
to brake
wing
deep
alongside
here.
his rear wheel. He just needs to
he's
brake
done
later.
it here.
There we go.
Great stuff by Alexei Aloma. He takes back 6th place after that very nervy moment where he lost his front wing earlier. Nearly could have retired from the race there, but he has recovered and he's back in the position that he needs, we think. We don't know exactly without having to stop watching the race and getting the calculator out.
He's got a little over 4 seconds to Peter Briljak in front.
Here we go, on board with the move now. He had a wheel alongside, and Bono, who's like Kvitnieski earlier, sort of thinks, oh, I don't really need to fight this too much. Bono, I think, almost definitely guaranteed with 7th place to make it through. And he's got Brzezinski 4 seconds down, and then Patel behind him. So
Bono Huis is still pushing.
But what I was going to mention earlier is that yeah, maybe Bono a little bit annoyed about losing position at least, but I wouldn't do anything too stupid with so little left in the race, although so few laps left rather. And I have to say, I'm a little bit worried for what you said earlier, Alex, about Jakob Brzezinski, whether he might be in trouble with the stewards for that contact that ended Patrick Holtzman's race. But for now, Brzezinski, I think, definitely in a strong position. Just needs to keep stay where he is, as we see. Ooh, I think that was definitely Aloma getting a little bit sideways there, but just about controlling it. A lot of skid marks on the track now. With yeah, lap 27 now, so 5 laps left. And Benito really, as I said earlier, controlling it out front.
Yeah, from word go, really pulled away pretty quickly, didn't he? Got about 1.5 seconds clear of Gregor and Alexei obviously exchanged positions, and that's when Graham put his move in as well. And ever since then, the gaps have stayed pretty static between the top 4. So just slowly pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, I've just been given a standings predictor, but I'm not sure it's entirely accurate. It looks like it's based on a group positions. I may have to rearrange that, but thanks to Dom Duhan for sending me that. But anyway, I would say, looking aside from the Huis Eloma battle, the closest one might be Hutu and Carol actually, but really depends. Further back now, Diego Jimenez not far behind Marcel Clean, but really that's for the scraps. They're really feasting on the scraps like vultures. Oh, I don't want to say like vultures because that's not a terribly friendly way to characterize them, but like a dutiful little back markers that keep pushing on and getting every point they can just to get one little place up the standings, but it won't quite be enough for Vegas, I don't think. And to his credit, Leslie Oliphant in 12th, that's actually one of his, that would be his best finishing position. He's not made a final before as well, so actually all the random losing their heads, Leslie Oliphant just about keeping his. The real battle is, it's really the top 10 who are all fighting each other to get to Vegas, I think, and I think one or two of them may have to miss out here.
Yeah, I believe that was Marcel Clean getting out of the way for P2 Alexiousi there. Background.
Yeah, and he's got to let Graham Carroll and Hootie through now as well. So let's hope that he does it cleanly. Well, it's in his name, of course, so I doubt he'll have too much trouble doing it. But yeah. Any real impressive performances here, or is it more just been attrition this race, guys?
It's I'd say it's been more of an attrition because we haven't seen like this many people crash out. I don't like, we didn't see it in Berlin, and I don't think we saw that in Long Beach or Paris. Yeah, however, we have seen some good on-track battles as well between. Yeah, it's been a relatively good race so far.
Final race of the season. It was always going to be a bit more aggressive, wasn't it? Out there, people know what they needed to do. So, and yeah, there's a lot of great battles going on, sort of earlier on. Spread out now, but yeah, it's a shame really because it'd have been good to see them go wheel to wheel all the way to the finish.
The gap between Gregor Hutu and Graham Carroll is coming down, and we can see it on our screens there.
Are we going to get to the top guys, the guys who are potentially fighting for the overall lead of the standings, which is really just for pride at the moment, but well, permanently for pride really, but it gives them a little bit of extra bragging rights. I think because Graham Carroll has to drop the 10th place from Paris, whereas Gregor Hutu has to drop the 5th place, Graham Carroll is almost definitely going to beat Gregor Hutu even if Hutu gets by him, but I would still think there's a little bit of pride at stake just to get by in the last race, and I think Gregor Hutu will definitely be thinking ahead to Vegas in these closing laps and thinking, this is the guy I'm probably going to be fighting with. But I wouldn't count out the likes of Benito, Uzi, Brutal Jack, even Mohamed Patel, Jacob Brzezinski, of course David Greco, who's already qualified, and Oli Picalo, who isn't here. So yeah, that's really...
And also, it's not just those 10. It is the 20 real-life Formula E drivers as well who will be for the 200 grand prize winning.
Yeah, I'd be fascinated to see if any of them could see how they fare up in general compared to these sim guys who are sort of this is their forte really, whereas the real life guys maybe you wouldn't expect to be as strong, but then we got drivers like Tanya Lapt, Robin Frines, who are really interested in simulators and sort of.
If I'm honest though, if you watch the eRaces, I wouldn't keep your hopes high for
no.
Wouldn't keep your hopes high for the real life drivers.
Yeah, I think they've been the real life drivers when they've been interviewed about it. I even talked to I went to I was very lucky enough to go to Next TV's car launch. Oliver Turvey was there, and I talked to Oliver Turvey about this, and I mentioned how well Oliver Picalo was doing, which is a bit ironic because he crashed out earlier this weekend. But I am. I just mentioned it to him, and he said, "I'm not really expecting to challenge." But the words still, I can't remember exactly what he said, but that's basically what he said. That he wasn't really expecting to challenge the top guys, but he'd give it his best. And he was also, he's a bit worried because in the e-races they don't have a lot of rules. You can just take each other out or whatever. He's worried, if there are a lot of rules, I might be in trouble. It was kind of funny, but good driver Oliver Turvey, and I'm interested to see the name matchups as well. We've got Ollie Picala, Oliver Turvey, we've got Graham Carroll, Adam Carroll. Yeah, so I wonder if any more pairings we can pinch out of thin air. There's 2 laps left to go.
Well, technically, it's not spelled correctly. However, I'm not sure whether he's going to Vegas or not. But Lucas Molman, Lucas DeGrassi.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Mr.
I'm
Moleman
digging hard here.
is still... Oh yeah, just like Moleman. But yeah, I think Lucas, in terms of points, I'm not sure exactly how many he has, but I'm pretty sure he's one of the ones who is not really in it, and I think 13th wouldn't quite be enough anyway to launch him up the standings. But yeah, Graham Carrot really not so much attacking UC now as defending from his great rival Gregor Hutto. Well, he's become a great rival over this series. We've not seen them in iRacing. I don't think they've challenged each other too much, but yeah, it's good to see names being made in this series. You know, that people. I mean, not everyone is. Maybe not everyone's heard of these guys anyway, but I think the most people have heard of is Gregor Hutto because he's been so successful for so long, particularly in iRacing and all the way back to the days of when he was driving in Grand Prix Legends as well. But I mean, if you can beat these guys like Enzo and Alexei can say that they've beaten them, I think that's a big coup for them, their performances the whole weekend. We're watching Aloma still holding off Bono Ruiz. And Bono's not given up on that 6th place, but time is running out to regain it, I think, and Aloma has more energy in the tank.
Just about 2 laps left. I think we're about to go on to
the
final
last
lap.
Actually,
we're on the last lap.
Yes, so we'll have to see.
We've only got
Enzo just starting it now.
2.2 kilometres of the Battersea Park circuit left. This season.
We're right on board with
Enzo.
Season. Yes, and the season closing out, time running out for those behind, but Enzo not really troubled the whole race, and really a great performance. Not quite as strong as Ollie Picala's performance in Berlin, of course, but then that's a very high standard, and I think Enzo can feel very pleased with himself. He's so passionate about his racing, and we're going to hear that afterwards when we interview him, as well as the other 2 finishers in the top 3. But anyway, closing out the lap now. It's so important not to put a wheel in the wall now. And I doubt Enzo will be thinking about be focusing on what he needs to do in these last couple of corners.
Through Rosary Gate, and now the long left-hander. And all he's got to do is master the chicane till he takes first victory of the year. And it will also, as you alluded to, Ed, be 4 out of 4 different winners.
Yeah, absolutely. He goes towards the timing line now. And Enzo Benito wins the Cloud Sport London E-Prix and qualifies to Las Vegas. Alexei Usi just behind also qualifies, and Graham Carroll in 3rd holds off Gregor Hutto by half a second there. And then we've got Peter Briljak 19 seconds down. Let's see, he should be safe from Aloma, although Aloma has closed in a fair bit actually. We'll have to see as they cross the line. Some of the lower finishers who have been lapped also coming in now.
Peter Briljak takes 5th, and then you've got Aloma, then Bono-Ruiz.
Aloma, I think, has qualified as well. Peter Briljak too, I believe, because he had 2nd place in Long Beach, and I think that 5th place may just be enough to squeeze him in. Then we have, after Bono-Ruiz in 7th, who's also qualified, we have Jakob Brzezinski and Mohamed Patel. Those 2 big question marks, I think, whether they have done enough, but decent performances from both to stay out of trouble and bank the points. David Greco in 10th. Christian Kwiatniewski, still a Cloud Sport champion, of course, but definitely not going to be able to make it to Vegas, sadly. But he still gave it his all and ended on a high in 11th place. Leslie Oliphant gets his best finish as well in 12th. Lucas Moleman 13th. Marcel Klein 14th. Diego Jimenez 15th. Walter Wedgeworth 16th. Despite losing, we see the 3 Redline guys in formation now, which is lovely to see. I love it when they do that. A lot of team unity at Team Redline. And the other teams, of course, Apex as well. Great relationship between Carroll and Holtzman. But Holtzman, first retirement here. Well, last retirement, actually, sadly, technically. But he didn't make the finish, along with Daniel Kiss, Wyatt Gooden, and Nikodem Wisniewski. They were all looking so good earlier on. And I think their chances have been compromised. I think only Patrick may have come away unscathed there on 114 points. But get your calculators out now, people, because you really need to figure out who's made it and who hasn't. But well, first of all, we'll listen to Enzo Alexi and Graham when they get back into the pits. So it's been a fantastic season to commentate on. Lots of action, lots of heartbreak at the end there, at the last minute. Let's talk about it as a whole. Did you enjoy it, guys? Or do you feel it was success?
Yeah, well, we're saying that this season's over, but it's technically this has just been like the little warm up thing. Then this has been like the warm up qualifying start thing. The real thing happens in 1 month time in Vegas, which I think that's going to be really awesome. However, Ed, we do have our race winners with.
Yeah, and I've also just been sent the overall standings, but we'll do the interviews first before we do the standings. Just a bit of tension. Anyway, so joining us now are the top 3 Finini Prix. In first, from Italy, Enzo Benito, Team Redline driver, and in second, his best finish is Alexi Usi Jacola, also from Team Redline and from Finland. And in third place, the ever reliable Graham Carroll from Apex Racing UK. So Enzo, a fantastic performance today and a well-deserved win after what happened in Berlin, do you feel?
Yeah, I'm shaking. I can't believe it. We worked pretty hard as a team, and in the end, we made it. I'm so happy.
I don't blame you for being happy. If I was in your position, I'd be over the moon too, because that's
Yeah.
a one-way ticket to Las Vegas for you, and a lot of money coming your way, no matter what happens, I guess.
Come again, excuse me?
I was just saying you're going to get a lot of money because you've qualified to Vegas.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that is nice. But also, I get to meet my team, which is like even better, I think, for me, because it's amazing actually. But yeah, money is not bad at all.
Sorry, I'm being greedy, of course, thinking like a greedy person. But yeah, and but you talk about it's been a very difficult season at points. I guess there were highs in Paris, where I talked to you earlier on the podium, there in third place, and but bad luck in Long Beach and bad luck in Berlin. And do you feel that this win makes up for all that and just makes it all the sweeter, having gone through all that those difficulties?
Yeah, I struggled a lot. I mean, I thought I could not make it, but as I said, my team helped me a lot. So I don't even have words for it, because actually I cannot believe it. But yeah, that's just all, really.
Oh, well done, Enzo. I mean, I'm very proud of you. Well, just as a commentator, I guess as proud as I can be. I'm supposed to be unbiased, but anyway, moving on to you, Alexi. Your best finish as well, and really good drive the whole weekend. I feel a little bit lucky in the semi-final of Graham. Of course, will tell us a bit more about that, how he feels about that, I guess. But good drive to second place. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, thanks. Actually, first race where I didn't make any mistakes, so that's the result for today. Well, Long Beach was so bad. I did a stupid driver mistake and hit the wall there, so no points from there. And after that, I had my drop already used, so need to be. And I broke my arm at floorball, and I have to drive with my left hand the second race, and I was 6th. That was pretty good. And then Berlin, I did a mistake on semi-finals, and that's why I had to start the 17th to the Sunday race. So 10th place from there was a miracle. So nice to actually do mistake-free race here and be second and get the ticket to Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm glad that your arm's healed up as well. And also, just Enzo mentioned this as well, but how's it feel just to meet all your Redline teammates? You know, Ollie, Gregor, Enzo, of course, and Bono.
Yeah, it will be great. I have seen them a couple of times already, but Enzo we haven't met it yet, so we will meet in Vegas. So yeah, but there will also be, of course, Dom Duhan, our team principal, and a few other Team Redline guys, and of course our sponsor Fanatec will be there to give us support and everything. So will be good race and good fun.
Thank you. Very well done today, Alex. Go on, Jack.
I'd just like to point out, yeah, Vegas is not a bad place to meet your friends, is it?
Yeah, I don't think so. It will be great.
Anyway, moving on to the last guy on the podium, Graham. We meet again. I mean, it's been a great season for you, Graham. You were already through, but a fair bit of drama for you in this race, I think it has to be said, and a lot of pressure from McGregor at the end, of course. So talk us through it a little bit.
Yeah, cheers. I kind of knew I had to better my 10th that I had at Paris with my wheel disconnected, so that I'd have a chance to sort of fight Ollie for the top spot. So the little penalty overnight was quite a shocker, to be fair, how they can penalise you 13 hours after the race, but we'll move on. And no, it was good. It was I kind of thought Gregor might play the team game with Alexei, so as soon as that move got lined up, I wasn't backing it with anything, you know. It was game on, and we had a wee touch here or there, but it was all fair in the end. And it was good. It was good to come into a weekend with no pressure and just enjoy it. Managed to get the quickest time of the week. I'm sure others could have went quicker if they really wanted to, but nah, it was. And again, just thanking Cloud Sport and the guys for putting up all the money and stuff. It's been a good event, and it's brought a lot of quick guys together and for some good racing, so it should make Vegas even better, you know.
And I've been sent this from Dom Duhan, so I'm not sure exactly how accurate it is, but according to this standings that he sent me, it says that you've beaten Ollie Picala to the top spot by a point. Woo! So well done on that.
Yeah, that was it. You know, I knew if Ollie's had a first, a second, and a fourth, and I had a first, a second, and a 10th, so I knew I kind of had to finish third today. So when I got put back my penalty to fifth, I was kind of a bit annoyed this morning, but how the race worked out, it worked a treat, you know. So I'm really pleased with finishing on the top as well. That's made it even better, you know.
Wow. And I have to say, it's been a brilliant season. I think all three of you have really, well, not just all three of you, but you've all shown real quality. Do you want to know who else Dom has said has made it into the top 10 that you'll be meeting in Vegas, I guess? I guess you want to know, so I'll tell you. So the points in full that we have here for the top 10 are Graham Carroll 148 points, Ollie Picala 147, Hutu 137, Enzo Benito 123, David Greco 122, Bono Huis 118, Alexei UC Jacola 117, also on 117 Peter Briljak. In 9th, Patrick Holtzman on 109. So, for you, Alex, you just made it, despite that retirement.
You were getting down that list, I was worrying.
Yeah, I mean, Graham, were you a little worried when you saw what happened to Patrick? Did you hear him retire?
I never seen what happened, but I'm in communication with Patrick, and he had a couple of issues with the reverse gear in this race, so it doesn't matter what happened now. He's through, and that's all that matters. But I was in the same position at Berlin, kind of just scared to make a wrong move to finish, and Patrick was the same today. He lost 3 spots in the first lap, and it sets you on the back foot. So well done to him, and well done to all the other guys that got through, and
yeah,
we'll see you at the Visa.
The last guy, I believe, remember, this is not counting for fastest lap, I don't think, because I'm not sure who said it, but it says that Jackie Brzezinski's in 10th on exactly the same points as Alexei Aloma, 106, so that's going to be contested, I think, which one of those makes through. But definitely the top 9, I'm pretty sure, have done enough in that table. But yeah, I have to say, you've done a really strong job, guys, and I'm really impressed by all of you, as I was at the start of the season as well. But I think you'll richly deserve it. And do you have any thoughts going into Vegas? Anything you want to say to the folks at home that might be watching?
I tune in. It's going to be a great few days, I suppose. It's again,
yeah, and you get a better commentator, of course, a real one.
Just for putting on the event. Thanks to Cloud Sport and the Visa guys who have put up all the rest of it, and looking forward to it.
And Alex, are you happy to get 2 guys in there just finally before you guys leave?
Yeah, delighted. I mean, you know, been a tough been a tough championship. Obviously, we're more known as a iRacing team as well, so to come on and mix it with these guys on R Factor, it's been a pleasure. Obviously, get to know a new sim, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to Vegas as well. You know, get everyone down there. It's you know, the competition that's going to go on there is going to be amazing. But I think meeting everybody in that kind of you know, proper high-end esports environment with so much up for stakes for the first time in sim racing is just going to be awesome as well, and I'm sure we're going to have one heck of a good time.
Oh, I would love to go myself. I actually had a chance earlier today. It was a little competition I was in, another sim racing competition, but I had a chance to win it and I blew it, so which is kind of funny. But maybe I'll have to fork out for a plane ticket. I don't know what I'll do, but it's not about me. It's all about you guys. So well done, and I guess it's pretty much time to head off, and we'll have to see once the standings get once we find out, you know, the definitive top 10, whether it's Eloma or Brzezinski, but yeah, and until then, I think we've got a fairly firm idea. So thanks for coming along, guys, and have a great time in Vegas. Like I say, you'll richly deserve it.
Cheers.
Any questions, by the way, Jack? Just...
No, none for me. I just want to say congratulations to all you, to you three, for getting to Vegas. So, yeah, I wish you all the best there, and have a great Christmas and everything.
And as Graham said, we're indebted to Cloud Sport for hosting the championship, of course.
Oh yes,
and,
of course.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. They've been consistent with their stewarding all season, and I have no doubt they will be here as well after London. But it will take a while, probably several hours for them to trawl through all the replays and figure out who's at fault for what incident, or you know, whatever. I guess maybe we may as well sign off then, Jack, from the commentary. But I've really enjoyed it, and it's been a privilege to commentate on, and really hope that I'll be back for any future Formula E events that Cloud Sports run, and hopefully this is the start of something bigger rather than just, you know, this isn't the peak. There's still more to come. I mean,
yeah. I've really enjoyed commentating on this in Berlin. I wasn't here at the start, but I've got into it, and I know more or less what's going. I've sort of learned pretty much all I need. I've learned all that I really need to know about it now to sort of be a basic commentator on it now. So yeah, better late than never. But yeah, it's been really fun watching everyone race this for the last couple of races, and cannot wait to see what happens in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Absolutely, except what we see on stream, of course. But for those interested, Vegas, it's January 7th, and it's in the Mayfair Hotel in Vegas. I'm not sure exactly where that is, but I'm sure it's a nice hotel. So
and also
you can sleep, wake up, and then instantly get downstairs to drive, I guess.
And also, you won't hear us there. Commentary there will be from Dario Franchitti and Jack Nichols.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Top
Jack is definitely there.
You'll be in good hands.
Yeah.
The proper Jack, not our discount Jack.
Yeah, discount Jack.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to make you sound like a dead weight.
I'm Tesco's value Jack.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what
I'm Tesco value everyman commentator. I'm not sure. I'm trying to mimic anyone except maybe Murray Walker, I guess, but everyone's trying to do that. But anyway, so thanks everyone for joining us. It's been a cracking qualifying 4 series of qualifying races, and I'm super excited to see what happens in Vegas, and best of luck to all 10 of the guys who have made it. Of course, still waiting to see who exactly has made it, but we will know in the fullness of time. Thanks for watching. It's goodbye from London and the last race ever at Battersea Park. Goodbye forever.
Someone drag us up into this channel with a